Well, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's another powerful edition of the Fresh Approach Fitness, a wellness company's podcast series. You have landed on episode 157, and today is so important. Today's episode is so important. It's all about watching your words. And I want to start off with a quote today from George Orwell, and really hear me out on this. But if thoughts corrupt language, language can also corrupt thought. Let that sink in for a minute. But if thought corrupts language, language can also corrupt thought. Interesting, isn't it? Your words are magic, and we're going to tap in today about the magic of those words and how it can unfold into making or breaking a difference into your life. See, Tony Robbins has said, the only thing that's keeping you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. So my question to you is, my friends, as you're listening today, how are you going to change your story? And it starts with watching your words. Today's episode's not going to be all that long. It's going to be short and sweet. And sometimes these are some of my favorite episodes because they're so powerful. So when it comes to watching your words, don't underestimate them. They're very powerful. The words that we use to describe our experiences become our experiences. Now, you've probably encountered a situation or two in your life that when spoken words did a lot of damage. I know I can think of a few times. And this is not only true about talking to others and how we communicate, but also, and probably in my professional and personal opinion, I would say it boils down to how you talk to yourself. You see that little voice in your head? The one that just asks, what voice? In my case, it's negative Nelly, who has a negative dialogue that tries to course correct me when I'm on my way to doing something different. That little voice in your head is the one I'm talking about today. What you tell yourself throughout the whole day makes a difference. You are indeed what you tell yourself throughout the day. Your inner dialogue is like a repeated suggestion of a hypnotist or auto-suggestion, however you want to look at it. Are you complaining a lot? What story are you telling yourself? If you say that you are bad, weak, powerless, fat, broke, stupid, then that is the world, your world, of what things will look like. On the other hand, if you say that you are healthy, feeling great, unstoppable, then your world, my friends, will also reflect that. Your inner dialogue has a huge impact on your self-esteem. So I really want to say, be careful with how you describe yourself. It doesn't matter what chapter of your life you're going through. We're always going through something, right? It doesn't matter if it feels like hell in a handbasket or what it is. We're always going through something. So think about this. The words that you describe when you describe yourself, the words that you choose to use when you describe yourself. Words that can include, I'm tripping over my words today. Words that can include things like, I'm lazy. I'm a disaster. I'll never be able to do that. Or my personal favorite, I'm tired. Because of course, the more you tell yourself how tired you are, the more tired you're going to get. See, watching your inner dialogue is so important. The way you communicate with yourself changes the way you think about yourself, which changes the way you feel about yourself, which changes the way you act, and ultimately influences your results and the perception that others have of you. I'm going to repeat that. That's how important it is. You know, I like to circle back and repeat things that are super, super, super important. So there's going to be a couple things here. The way you communicate with yourself changes the way you think about yourself, which changes the way you feel about yourself, which changes the way you act, and this ultimately influences your results and the perception that others have of you. How does that sit with you? How are you talking to yourself? What is your inner dialogue like? Is she nice? Is she kind? Is she supportive? I know Negative Nelly. That's the name of my inner dialogue, and I'm gonna bring you all up to speed for those that are new and landed on this podcast episode. Her name is Negative Nelly, for the reason of when I watched Little House on the Prairie as a kid. And we all know that Laura Ingalls and the Ingalls family were the star of the show. But Laura's cousin, Nellie Olson, was such a troublemaker. Such a handful, and always, always, always so negative. So that's why my inner dialogue is called Negative Nelly. Now, it's helped me to name her, because while I name her, I can tell her to stop. I can tell her I don't need her. I can tell her, Negative Nelly, thank you so much for showing up today. Thank you for your opinion. Thank you for trying to keep me safe, but I don't need you right now. And you can push her aside, and that's why I've named her. You see, because I want to keep the conversation with myself positive. The words I choose to use are, I want to achieve success. I want to be slim. God, I'm good. Because your subconscious mind doesn't understand the little word no. It sees your words as images. So don't you dare think of a pink elephant. See, I bet you just thought of a pink elephant. Yes, our words turn into images, and our images turn into feelings. And those feelings in our life are what we chase. So I'm going to repeat myself here. Focus on only what you want. Keep in mind that your words, especially the questions you ask yourself, have a huge influence on your reality. I tell my coaching clients to never tell me or themselves that they can't do something, but instead ask these words. How can it be done? And if you ask yourself how, your brain will search for an answer and come up with a solution. The good thing is that you really can change your life by changing your language. Talking to yourself in a positive way and starting to ask yourself different questions is a game changer. So why wait? Start asking yourself different questions now. See, words are so, so, so powerful, my friends. I've put together 8 words commonly used in our everyday conversation with ourselves and with others that we need to monitor and change in order to bring about the future that we desire. And, okay, you ready? We're going to get started. I was just making sure I had them all here in front of me, because what we think about, we bring about. And because words are so powerful, these are what we're going to talk about to help us flip. I'm going to say it again. These are what we're going to talk about to help us flip that script. You ready? The first word is try. I'll try to get it finished. I'll try to catch up with you on Saturday. Whenever I hear someone say this, or even when I say this myself, then I know they're not serious. And I know it's not going to happen. They're wishy-washy. Try is a wishy-washy word that is devoid of commitment. leaving wide open the space for excuses to creep in and get in the way. No one created the life of their dreams and positive results by trying. They got theirs by doing and by making things happen. So instead of the word try, make a clear commitment. So instead of saying, I'll have it done by, instead try saying this. Again, I'm tripping over my words. I'm so sorry, but this is part of real life, my friends. It happens. Let me go over that last part again. Make a clear commitment. Instead of saying the word try, say the following. I'll have it done by. I am free at this time and I can meet you then. Or if need be, I can't promise anything, but I'll do my best. The second word, wish. Wishing is sitting on your couch daydreaming, waiting for the lotto ball to drop in or the fairy godmother to appear. Wish removes yourself from the equation and tells you that you have to rely on the powers that be. Change the words from wish to I will. I am. I'm determined. I deserve. I desire. The third word, I am. Be very careful with how you use the word I am. The words I am. To define, especially when it comes to defining who you are. You are not angry. You are not depressed. You are not happy. All of these things are temporary emotions, like clouds passing by. If you define yourself as being this way, then that identity can have a tendency to stick around and what will follow up will be excuses such as, I can't do this because I am depressed. And there's nothing that you can do about that because you just got through declaring, this is who I am. A better way to say this, I feel angry. I feel depressed. This lets yourself know. This lets you know. This lets your mindset know. This lets your paradigm and your negative Nelly know that this is a temporary feeling which could and that will quite easily change. The next word, if. How many times do you mutter, if I get that promotion, then. If more money arrives, then. If I lose weight, then. If always presents the element of doubt. Doubt and insecurity don't bring you what you want. Certainty and confidence does. So instead of if, simply make it when. Just make that quick switch. When I get that new job, when I get that promotion, when the money arrives. What a game changer. What singles are you most serious about and committed about and believe in is when you want to reframe the word if into when. Because when singles that you are serious and that you are committed and that you believe. And that most importantly, that you deserve what is on its way to you. Should, another wishy-washy word, a promise word that doesn't mean much. I should call my mother more. I should go to the gym tonight. Should is rife with feelings of guilt and complacency, my friends. You know you're never going to do it, and somehow saying that you recognize you should somehow makes you feel better, doesn't it? But it doesn't really. It adds the weight to your shoulder. The only thing that it makes you feel better is doing it. So should be turned into I will or I am going to. Word number 6. I can't. This is one of those words that can be debated. We've all heard that there's no such thing as can't. Well, there is really. Can't does exist. I can't sing. I really can't. I mean, I can't even carry a tune in a bucket. I'm dreadful. But you know what? I can try or I can learn. So as soon as your brain hears you say the word can't, it goes on a holiday. It shuts down and it celebrates because it no longer has to find a way to do it. I can try means that you've opened up a created space for learning and exploring that may just bring you new ways of thinking and doing. When my daughter says, "Mom, I can't," my response is maybe, but you can always try first. And then let's have a go. Right? Let's have a go. One way or another, you won't know until you try. And my friends, you can try. The 7th word, desperate. When we really want something, there's a tendency to attach the word desperate to it, as if this word has some sort of power that will make it come about faster. I am desperate for him to call me. I am in desperate need of a transfer. Desperation breeds more things to be desperate about. It is not an attractive word. Instead, say, "I'm so excited that he's going to be calling me tonight. I really desire a transfer and I am ready to go." I love these transformations. Such powerful shifts that bring about clarity, that bring about awareness, that bring about positivity, that bring about hope. All right, the last word, and this one's a bit of a doozy, luck. It's my least favorite word, and it has nothing to do, it takes away, let me rephrase it, it takes away what people have done. So if you always look at other people's success as luck, then you are doing two things very badly. Not recognizing and appreciate all of the hard work that they put into bringing about the life that they desire. But most importantly, you are saying it is not possible for you. So you give up before you even start creating the life that you want. You think, my friends, that it'll only happen if a genie appears. And this is such a lie. You can have whatever you desire as long as you are willing to do whatever it takes to get it. So choose your words carefully, and you'll soon learn that you can be, do, and have whatever it is that you want. You know, a good starting point for many of my clients is to pick up and purchase the Your Story Matters book, and then to pop into the Your Story Matters course and walk yourself through it. Because once you get that clarity, once you understand where you're coming from, you'll recognize that, you know, this program is for you if you're ready to make bold moves and do whatever it takes. Ready with the hell yes to inspire who you are deep down so you can start to step away from these 8 trigger words that will hold you back. You know, if this is the right space for you and you are ready for a deep connection with purpose, it's time. It's time then for you to unleash the spark and take a look at the information I have available for you. I would say pop into my link tree, my website, either or, and start with one of the assessments. And on the link tree, you're certainly going to see the course links for Your Story Matters and where you can get the book on Amazon. And why I'm suggesting this is it's hard to make change when we don't understand why we're doing what we're doing. And having that as a core foundation is a game changer. So if there's any way I can support you on your journey to health and happiness, including what it's like to watch your words so you can change the story that you are telling to yourself and others, reach out or reply you know how to connect with me. All of my contact information are here in the show notes. And I would be pleased to walk you through this bit by bit, lock arms with you to help you grow in the direction of your dreams so you too can change the outlook of your future. Thank you so much, my friends, for your time today and every day. Go ahead, take a look, take a listen, and until next week, when we drop podcast episode 158, which is actually a personal story about our time away in the much-needed vacation. All right, my friends, we will talk soon. Have a great day.